Do you think animal cruelty should be banned?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah. I think
what do you
humans should be put down.
Let me ask you a couple of questions.
Yes.
What would you classify as abuse?
I would say it would be like, hitting them and all, and not feeding them and keeping them locked in cages.
And mentally too. Mental or physical harm. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. So somebody kicking a doggy or kicking a wee cat or something like that, bad? Okay.
I kick them quicker.
I would say. Right, so does it matter to you if it's cruelty that's legalised or not legalised? Would that make any difference to you morally?
It definitely should be a lot more. It should be a lot stronger.
Okay.
Stronger sentences and all, and things like that.
I agree.
Definitely.
I
100%.
So here's the reason I'm here, and I'm not trying to catch people out. I'm genuinely not, because I used to pay for it too. What about the animals that go into slaughterhouses and get shot in the head and have their throats cut?
Oh, I disagree with that as well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are you vegan?
No.
Do you? Well,
I know. No, I know.
you know what I'm going to ask you now.
Listen.
Do you ever consider those animals before?
Not before. No. I haven't.
Trying to catch you,
no,
by the way.
no, I know.
I paid for it too for many years.
Yes.
I wasn't even vegetarian up until I was 19. Then I stopped eating animal products, but I was still wearing leather and probably buying things that I test on animals and stuff.
Yes.
I went vegan. I'm not trying to make myself sound high and mighty or better than anybody else, but I went vegan about 12 years ago now.
Yes,
because my mind was open to information that I don't have before, and a different perspective, because if you think kicking a dog's bad, well, why is it okay?
That's a good idea.
Just to shoot a cow in the head and cut their throat. Why is it okay? Do you know how we dispose of pigs in this country? Do you know how we do it when they get to a slaughterhouse?
Yes.
Have you any idea what's done to them?
Well, I've heard I don't really like watching it.
I know, of course you don't. Why do you think that is?
I know.
So we put them in gas chambers.
That's a really good idea, because I would actually go and be a vegetarian next week and do today, actually, because it's the same thing with a dog or a cat. Yeah. If they were sent to a slaughterhouse,
Let me tell you two things. We put pigs in gas chambers, by the way.
Yeah.
Gas chambers, for fuck's sake.
Terrible.
And I would encourage you to go a step further than vegetarian, because I was vegetarian. Because vegetarian is supporting the same industries, believe it or not. Because you see, like the likes of the dairy industry, it's the most cruel industry on planet Earth. People think it's this bucolic industry where the animals are treated nicely, and it's so cruel. It is unbelievable. So if you genuinely care about animals and you don't want them to suffer and you don't want to pay for it, then vegan's the way to go.
Yeah. No, I will look into that. No, actually, just that talk now, it's definitely...
Have you got like 30 seconds? I could tell you how bad the dairy industry is, or do you want...
I don't know.
You don't have time?
No, but listen...
You should check it out.
I will.
Check it out. Here's a question to ask yourself before you go. All the Frisian cows that you see around the countryside in the herds of dairy cows, the black and white ones, they're all female. Every single one.
Oh, my goodness.
Where do you think all the boys are?
No idea.
Well, when they're born, 50% male and female, like us. You're okay?
Yes.
They're all killed. The baby boys are a waste product. They're just disposed of. Shot, sold into the veal industry. Some of them are just hit over the head with a spade or a shovel to get rid of them. The farmer doesn't want to feed them. They don't produce milk. Their meat is not good meat, so they just dispose of.
Well, I had watched,
hundreds,
funny enough,
thousands of
the way China was killing all the dogs and stuff.
Yulin, for example.
Yulin, well, a girl I know knows that other girl very well that stopped that.
Yeah.
So she got all the dogs, so they're not happening. Is it Yulin?
It's Yulin, yeah.
Yes.
But there's other festivals too.
Yes.
But here's the thing, I get it that people are upset by that, but see in the likes of China where that happens, dogs are not companion animals the way we have them. They're not. So they see dogs the same way we see pigs and lambs, for example. So they probably think we're weird for eating like lambs at 14 or 16 weeks old.
Yeah.
So that's a cultural thing. It's just the story you were told. It's okay to abuse and kill these animals, but this one here we have to look after. So there's not really any difference. You know, when you change. Here's the perspective before I leave you. Always look at any injustice from the perspective of the victim. So it doesn't matter about your mindset or what you've been taught or the advertising you see. You have to look at it from the victim's perspective, because that's what justice is about. And if you wouldn't want it done to you or to your wee doggy if you have one, or your wee cat, well then why would you do it to any other animal when you don't need to?
Exactly. No, that's a really good idea.
That's why I'm here.
No, lovely to meet you.
I'm trying to speak for them.
Can I shake your hand?
Of course you can. Well, go left-handed. You're lefty.
Yes, of course. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much.
You take care, okay?
Thank you. Have a nice day now. Bye-bye.
I believe it should stay non-legal.
It should say not legal.
Yeah, it shouldn't be legal.
Right, okay. So you're against animal abuse and cruelty, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah, I'm against it.
Okay, so let's say somebody was kicking a dog or something like that.
Yeah.
What would you think or do?
Like if it was someone like in front of me, I'd just like I'd be shocked and like I would just like I wouldn't have any respect for that person.
Okay. Let me ask you what you would qualify as abuse, or how would you describe abuse or cruelty?
Abuse is just being cruel to anyone or anything.
Yeah.
Like
mental or physical, yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't just mean like harming somebody by kicking them or punching them or beating them or something like that. You can
like mentally abuse them, like verbally.
Yeah, by intimidating somebody, for example, somebody who's smaller than you. That's abuse in my opinion. So yeah, right. The tricky question's coming now, and I'm not judging it either of you. Here's the tricky question: what about the animals that suffer because some animal cruelty already is legalised? The ones that we send into slaughterhouses, that we turn into food and clothing. What do you think of those? This guy's head's lit, by the way. Just ignore him.
I'm not very fond of meat, but like I think it's like human resources. We need the meat to survive, but like I don't know.
We don't, you know. We don't. I'm not trying to dog you out or anything like that. So I am heading for 60. I'm on upwards of 55, right? I haven't eaten meat since I was 19 years old. So you can survive and thrive on plant-based foods. Like I was doing it way back in the day, even before veganism was popular. So if you don't need it to survive, and we can produce enough food, plant-based food, to feed all of humans, which the science says we can. If everybody went plant-based, we can produce more than enough food. Then what would be the excuse to send an animal into a slaughterhouse to have their throat cut or to be gassed? What's that?
There would not be any excuse.
I agree with you. So that's why I'm vegan. So like I said, I'm not trying to dog you out. When I don't know what age you are. What age are you guys, if you don't mind me?
12.
Right, okay. So when I was your age, I was consuming animal products and indirectly I was supporting the industries, because if you consume something, then they supply and demand, right? You know how that works. And then just during my teenage years, I began to question it. I stopped drinking milk when I was 5 and various products right up. And then I thought, I don't need to do this anymore. I can survive and thrive on plant-based products. I wasn't fully vegan because I was still wearing leather, and I thought leather was just a byproduct and stuff. So it's only about 10 years ago when I went fully vegan. And I'm not out here trying to dog people out or trying to point fingers and say it's your fault. I just have information now that I didn't have when I was young, and I wish somebody had told me, because I would guess you probably love animals, right? If you stop to talk to me about this, you probably love animals. Right, so when you're using the products, you're literally paying somebody to do something to animals that you would never do yourself, right? Isn't that right? You ever thought of it that way before?
No, I actually haven't. I wanted to be vegetarian. The one thing is, my mum just said I need meat and all. That's just the only reason I wasn't able, because my mum was telling me you need meat. You need you can't just live off vegetables. It's not good because you're growing.
I get you. That's a misconception. So I'm going to give you a wee card before you leave me, and then you can watch it yourself, and then you can show it to your mum as well. And it's difficult when you're living at home with your parents. I went vegetarian in my teens. Well, no, I gave up meat, and I gave up chicken, and I gave up milk, and I gave up fish, and I gave up pork at very young ages. I gave up milk at 5 and fish at 6 and pork at 7. And you honestly can survive and thrive. The science says you can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet. So people have this misconception of lies that they're told their entire life by the industries. The industries want you to believe certain things. So if I said to you, why do you drink milk? Why do you drink milk? What for?
I don't drink milk.
Right, okay.
I don't like it.
Well, they tell you it's for calcium, right? Yeah, but calcium...
You get calcium from other things.
Get calcium from other things. And everything that you can get from meat, you can get it from other things. So you just eat a variety of plant-based products, of vegetables, grains, pulses, nuts, seeds. And it sounds really difficult. I probably eat all the same food that you eat. I just eat a vegan version of it. Should it be pizza or sausages or burritos? Within 500 yards of here, I could tell you about 10 different places that are selling vegan food right now. Like the burrito shop there, for example. They sell vegan burritos. Little wing around the corner do a full vegan range of pizzas. Nutmeg, do you know Nutmeg, the health food shop up there? They have a full range of vegan sausages and burgers and alternatives. Starbucks, Nero's, McDonald's do a McPlant, KFC do vegan chicken nuggets. So it's just knowledge and keeping in your head that when you're buying a product. So if you go into McDonald's and buy a normal burger, well then some animal has to suffer and die to produce that burger. Whereas you just buy a McPlant-based burger, it's a cruelty-free option. Yeah. Why not choose that instead if you truly love animals? Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I might get a McPlant for dinner.
Do that. Try it and see. And let me ask you a question. So, vegan food, I would say sometimes it tastes very, very, very similar. Yeah. Have you ever tried any of it?
Yeah. A few times.
And it's probably decent, yeah?
Yeah, it is. It's sometimes I find like vegan food or vegetarian food, it can be nicer. Like
I agree. So if I go to weddings or on a plane or something and I get the vegan option, people are like, oh, what, you have?
Like if you try like vegan bacon and all, there's not like all the fatty bits or anything.
Exactly. So let's even say it tastes 5 or 10% different than the animal product. Well, what's more valuable to you? Say you bought vegan bacon and it tastes 10% different, not worse, not better. Yeah. What's more valuable, a slight taste difference or a pig having their throat cut?
Slight taste difference.
At 6 months old. You know, obviously the animal's life's more important. Yeah. And I live in Ballymena. There's a pig slaughterhouse 2 miles from my house. Have you ever heard of Galgorm Resort?
Yeah.
Well, there's a pig slaughterhouse right next door. Yeah. Do you know what they do to the pigs when they arrive there? Do you know how they kill them? How? Gas chambers. That's horrible, right? Yeah. 3,000 a day being gassed in that place. Absolutely horrendous. So, as an animal lover, I don't want to pay for that. Yeah. I want to buy the plant-based options and buy the vegan clothing.
Like at least you're supporting the plant-based businesses. Yeah. Which is better.
Exactly. Yeah. You're creating demand for plant-based products, and farmers, I tend not to point the finger at them because they're no worse than the people who are buying the product. Farmers produce what people buy.
It's just the way, a lot of the time that's how they make money, and that's probably how they've been doing it for multiple years.
I agree. So ultimately for me, and this sounds judgmental and it's just a fact, it's the consumer who is to blame, because if we buy the products then they'll continue to produce them and pigs will have to be gassed. Lambs will have to go to slaughterhouses at 16 weeks old, for God's sakes. Yeah. I'm not cool with any of that. Yeah. So maybe I'm going to give you a card now. Okay. Consider the plant-based options. I know vegan sounds like a really way out there term, but honestly, if you can survive and thrive without harming animals and choose compassion over what I would call callousness, when you see what happens to animals in these industries, it's not good, and I don't think you'd be cool with it either. One of my cards here. So, I'll give you one each. These 3 here, conspiracy, or seaspiracy, that shows you how the damage animal agriculture is doing to the environment and the oceans. Yeah. Game Changers is the health one. Yeah. So sit down and watch that with your mum if you've got Netflix. It's free to watch. Yeah. And the one I want you to watch is that one at the bottom, the speech on YouTube, free to watch.
Yeah, thank you.
That guy will give you something to think about. Yeah. I appreciate you stopping. Yeah. Bye. Don't throw that away now, that card, and check those links out. Yeah, well. All right, and try the McPlant.